When you walked into this room today, or when you pressed play on this speech, there was already something inside you that wanted more. You wouldn't be here if you weren't searching for a deeper meaning, a stronger push, or a reminder that you are capable of far more than the world may expect of you. And I want you to know something very clearly before we go any further. This journey you are on, it's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be hard. Now, I realize that may not be what you want to hear at the beginning of a speech, because we live in a time when everyone is searching for shortcuts, quick fixes, instant success. But the truth is, the things in life that matter the most, the things that define who we are and who we can become, will never come without resistance. If the road ahead of you feels difficult, if it feels uncomfortable, if it feels heavy, that doesn't mean you're failing. That means you're exactly where you're supposed to be. I want you to stay with me until the very end of this speech, because what we're going to explore together is not just motivation, it's truth. It's the reminder that every challenge, every setback, every moment when you feel like giving up, is the very proof that you are building something meaningful. And when you understand that, when you embrace that, you stop running from the hard things and you start running toward them. So as you listen today, open your heart, open your mind, and allow yourself to step into the discomfort. Because by the time we are finished, you will see that the hardship you are facing right now, whatever it may be, is not your burden. It is your gift, and it is leading you to the version of yourself you've always been destined to become. When we talk about hardship, most people instinctively see it as something to avoid, something to escape from as quickly as possible. But what I want you to really embrace is the idea that hardship isn't a punishment, it's the path. Every person you admire, every story of triumph you've ever heard, was built on a foundation of challenges that looked insurmountable in the moment. Think about it. The greatest athletes are entrepreneurs. The most influential leaders, for we no longer cuck a be before God as go, if as pris as presoning as. Pish. None of them got to where they are because life handed them easy victories. They got there because they refused to back down when life tested them. They understood, whether consciously or not, that hardship is the price of admission for greatness. When you walk through a storm in life, when you face rejection, loss, or moments of complete uncertainty, it can feel like the world is trying to break you. And in those moments, the temptation is always to give up, to settle for less, to tell yourself that maybe you weren't meant for something bigger. But let me ask you this. If greatness were handed to you effortlessly, if success were guaranteed without pain, would it carry any meaning at all? The truth is, the weight of the struggle gives the reward its value. It's the resistance that shapes you into someone capable of carrying the success you're dreaming of. Without it, you wouldn't be prepared to handle it. I often see people who want to skip the hard parts, who want to leap straight to the finish line without running the race. And I understand why. Hardship hurts. It tests your patience. It demands sacrifices that no one else may even notice. But the very thing that feels unbearable is what sets you apart from the rest. If you were given a life where nothing ever challenged you, you wouldn't grow. You wouldn't learn who you really are when everything is stripped away, and you wouldn't develop the strength to stand tall when the world pushes back against you, as it always will. Think about the most resilient people you've ever met. They aren't resilient because life was kind to them. They are resilient because life was hard on them, and they refused to give up. They were bent, they were tested, but they weren't broken. And that resilience didn't just carry them through one challenge. It became the foundation for everything else they would go on to accomplish. Hardship is not just the pathway to greatness, it is the training ground that equips you for it. I want you to look at your own life right now. Maybe you're facing financial struggles, or doubts about your future, or relationships that are testing your patience. Maybe you feel like you're carrying more than you can bear. In those very moments, you have to remind yourself, this is where greatness is being born. This is where the story changes. The hard season you are in right now is not proof that you're failing. It's proof that you're building something worth fighting for. If the dream you're chasing were small, it wouldn't come with this level of resistance. But the size of your struggle is directly tied to the size of your destiny. And here's the beauty of it. Once you come out on the other side of that hardship, you'll look back and realize it wasn't there to stop you, it was there to prepare you. The strength you're gaining right now, even if you don't see it yet, will be exactly what you need for the doors that will open in your future. Hardship is the universe's way of asking, how badly do you want this? How much are you willing to endure? How far are you willing to go? And your answer is written not in your words, but in your persistence. So the next time you feel like quitting, remind yourself, this is part of the journey. It's supposed to be heavy. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. That doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. It means you're exactly where you should be. You're in the place where transformation happens, where average is left behind and greatness begins to take root. The pathway to greatness will never be smooth, and it will never be simple, but it will always be worth it. And if you are willing to walk it, no matter how many times you stumble, you will discover that the very hardship you feared was not your enemy at all. It was your greatest ally. Comfort feels good. It feels safe, familiar, and predictable. It's the warm bed on a cold morning, the easy choice when life offers you two roads. And for a moment, it gives you the illusion of peace. But the truth is, comfort is deceptive. It lulls you into thinking you're living, when in reality, it's quietly holding you back from everything you're capable of becoming. If you stay where it's comfortable, you may avoid the sting of failure, you may avoid the judgment of others, you may even avoid the pain of rejection, but you also avoid growth, transformation, and the kind of success that only comes from pushing yourself beyond what feels easy. Think about the people you admire most. They didn't become who they are by choosing the comfortable path. They stepped into places where failure was possible, where embarrassment was possible, where pain was almost guaranteed. And yet, it was precisely those uncomfortable moments that forged their strength. Their vision, faith, is not simply believing in the existence of God. Because what separates those who dream from those who achieve is not talent, not luck, not even opportunity. It's the willingness to endure discomfort long enough to cross the threshold where others give up. It's tempting to believe that avoiding risk will keep you safe, but the real danger isn't in failing, it's in never trying at all. Comfort tells you to stay quiet instead of speaking up. Comfort tells you to settle for a job you dislike instead of chasing the career you were born to pursue. Comfort convinces you to lower your standards, to shrink your vision, to trade your potential for temporary ease. And over time, the cost of that comfort is far greater than any pain you might have faced by stepping into the unknown. Growth only happens when you step outside of what feels good. A seed cannot grow unless it breaks apart beneath the soil. A muscle doesn't get stronger until it's been torn in the process of being used. In the same way, your life will not expand until you are willing to be stretched, challenged, and tested in ways that feel uncomfortable. The difficulty is not a sign that you're on the wrong path, it's a sign that you are breaking through the limits that once defined you. Every single one of us has dreams that live inside us, dreams that whisper in the quiet moments when we allow ourselves to imagine what life could look like if we stopped settling. But most people never bring those dreams to life, not because they lack ability, not because they lack resources, but because they're too attached to their comfort. They would rather live a life that feels safe than risk the temporary pain of failure. And so they convince themselves that the dream isn't realistic, that it's too late, that someone else is better positioned to make it happen. The truth is, the only difference between those who achieve extraordinary things and those who don't is the willingness to step out of comfort and into courage. Discomfort is the gatekeeper of transformation. You cannot bypass it. Every rejection, every sleepless night, every risk you take that others call reckless, these are not signs that you should turn back. They are proof that you are doing what most people are too afraid to do. You are choosing growth over ease. And while that may not feel good in the moment, it is the only way to create a life that is deeply meaningful. There will be people who try to talk you out of it. They'll say you're crazy, that you're pushing too hard, that you should be content with what you already have. And in their eyes, you may look reckless, but what they don't understand is that comfort kills ambition. It suffocates the fire that was placed inside you for a reason. It keeps you living small when you were meant to live large. And if you listen to those voices, you'll wake up one day realizing you've built a life that is safe. But it's not the life you truly wanted. So the next time you feel resistance, the next time something scares you, the next time you're tempted to pull back because it feels too uncomfortable, remind yourself that this is exactly where you need to be. Discomfort is not the enemy. It's the evidence that you're on the right path. You are not meant to live your life trapped in the illusion of safety. You are meant to grow, to expand, to push past the limits of what you thought was possible. The hardness of the journey is not there to stop you, it's there to separate you from the countless others who will never leave the comfort of what they know. If it were easy, everyone would do it, but it's not supposed to be easy, and that is why it matters. We live in a world that glorifies the finish line. We celebrate the moment someone stands on a podium. We applaud the headline of success, and we admire the image of victory. But what we rarely see, what we rarely acknowledge, is the struggle that made it all possible. And the truth is, the reward has never been in the applause or the recognition. It has always been in the struggle itself. The struggle is what gives the achievement its meaning, its depth, its weight. Without it, the victory is hollow. Think about it. If success came easily, would it really feel like success? If every door opened without resistance, if every goal was reached without effort, would you even be proud of it? The moments in life that you cherish most are never the ones that came freely. They are the ones that demanded something of you. They are the ones where you sacrificed, where you endured, where you kept going long after it would have been easier to quit. That's why when you finally arrive at a milestone you've been fighting for, the joy is overwhelming, not because of the outcome itself, but because of everything you had to endure to get there. The beauty of struggle is that it shapes you in ways that comfort never could. It refines your character, it strengthens your determination, it deepens your gratitude. Every sleepless night, every risk you took, every failure you overcame becomes part of the story, and that story is what makes the reward worth holding on to. People who inherit success without effort often lose it just as quickly because they never built the resilience to sustain it. But when you earn it through struggle, you carry with you not just the reward, but the wisdom and strength that make it last. There's a certain pride that comes from knowing you didn't quit when it got hard, that you didn't settle when others told you to, that you didn't take the easy way out even when no one would have blamed you if you had. That pride cannot be bought, it cannot be gifted, it can only be earned. And the more difficult the journey, the greater the pride when you reach your destination. It's not the trophy that matters, it's what you became in the process of earning it. Struggle teaches you gratitude in a way that ease never can. When you've had to fight for something, when you've had to bleed for it, when you've had to sacrifice for it, you don't take it for granted. You don't overlook its value. You hold it close because you know what it cost you. That deep sense of gratitude not only makes the victory sweeter, it also changes how you see everything else in your life. You begin to appreciate even the smallest wins, because you know the work that goes into creating them. And there's something else. The struggle connects you with others in a way success alone never could. People don't connect with perfection, they connect with perseverance. They don't admire those who had it easy, they admire those who kept going when everything was against them. Your struggle becomes your story, and your story becomes a light for someone else walking their own hard road. In that way, the struggle doesn't just reward you, it creates a ripple effect that inspires others to believe that they too can endure. They too can rise, they too can overcome. So often we're taught to see struggle as the obstacle in our way. But the truth is, the struggle is the way. The reward is not separate from the hardship. It is born out of it. The tears, the setbacks, the nights of doubt, the countless times you started over, those are not detours from the path. They are the path, and when you finally arrive, you will see that it was never just about reaching the goal. It was about who you became in the process, about how much stronger, wiser, and braver you are because of the struggle. The day will come when you'll look back at the hardest chapters of your life and realize they were also the most meaningful. Not because they were easy, not because they were painless, but because they taught you what you're made of. They gave you the strength to build, the courage to risk, the resilience to rise, and the wisdom to endure. And that is the true reward. The struggle is not your enemy, it is your greatest gift. Resilience is not something you're born with fully formed. It is not a gift handed down from life without effort. Resilience is built in the fire, the kind of fire that tests you, breaks you open, and forces you to decide whether you will stay down or rise again. It's in the moments when everything feels like it's falling apart that resilience is born, because only then do you truly learn what you are capable of enduring. We like to believe that strength comes from comfort, from winning, from standing tall with confidence. But the truth is, strength is forged in the times when you're on your knees, when your plans have crumbled, when life has pushed you harder than you thought you could withstand. It's easy to feel strong when the sun is shining, when doors are opening, when people are cheering you on. But real resilience reveals itself when there are no cheers, no support, no guarantees, when the only thing you have left is your decision to keep moving forward anyway. Think back to a moment in your life when you faced what felt like an impossible challenge. Maybe it was the loss of an opportunity you had worked so hard for. Maybe it was a personal setback that left you questioning your worth. Maybe it was a season of life where nothing seemed to go right no matter how hard you tried. Those moments hurt. They strip away your certainty, your pride, sometimes even your hope. But if you're honest with yourself, you'll realize those very moments also shaped you. They gave you the kind of strength you could never have developed in easier times. They carved into you the resilience that is now part of who you are. Every setback is an invitation to rise again, stronger than before, an invitation to prove to yourself that the storm doesn't define you. It refines you. Without storms, there is no resilience. Without trials, there is no strength. You cannot develop courage if you are never afraid. You cannot grow resilience if you are never tested. And that's why life, in its wisdom, doesn't spare us from hardship. It gives it to us as the very tool we need to build the foundation for greatness. The most extraordinary people you'll ever meet are not the ones who had everything go right for them. They are the ones who endured what should have broken them and still found the will to keep going. They are the ones who turned pain into purpose, who turned loss into lessons, who turned setbacks into setups for something greater. Their stories inspire us not because they were easy, but because they were hard. And that's what makes them real, that's what makes them powerful, that's what makes them worth remembering. Resilience is not about pretending the pain doesn't exist. It's not about ignoring your struggles or hiding your tears. It's about standing in the middle of the storm, acknowledging the weight of it, and saying to yourself, "This may hurt, this may knock me down, but it will not end me." It's about choosing to believe that tomorrow holds something worth fighting for, even when today feels unbearable. That choice, repeated over and over, builds resilience like layers of steel within your soul. Life will never stop testing you. There will always be new challenges, new losses, new setbacks waiting just around the corner, but that isn't a reason to fear. It's a reason to trust that the strength you are building now is preparing you for the battles ahead. Every time you get back up, every time you push through, every time you decide that you will not quit, you add another layer to the resilience that carries you forward. And here's what's incredible. Resilience doesn't just change how you face hardship, it changes how you live. It gives you confidence in the unknown, courage in the face of fear, and the determination to chase dreams that others would abandon. Because once you've proven to yourself that you can survive the fire, you no longer live afraid of being burned. You know you can walk through it and come out stronger on the other side. So the next time life knocks you down, and it will remember this, resilience is not about avoiding the fall. It's about refusing to stay down. It's about rising again, no matter how many times you've been pushed to the ground. Because every rise makes you stronger, every comeback makes you braver, and every moment you choose to endure is another step toward the life you were meant to live. Resilience is not given to you, it is earned in the fire.